Are you looking for a way to help your brick-and-mortar business drive more traffic and increase your sales? Look no further than the Receipt Paper Podcast. In this podcast, Joanne and Kyle provide their sage advice on how to make your brick-and-mortar store the hottest spot in town. Whether you're just launching a new business or trying to grow an existing one, these informative episodes will leave you inspired. In each episode, Joanne and Kyle take on a different topic related to running a successful business. They offer practical tips based on their own experience as owners of multiple brick-and-mortar locations. So whatever challenges you're facing, they have actionable advice for you. From finding a location and executing your build-out, to merchandising and customer experience, to sales and marketing, Joanne and Kyle have you covered. With helpful advice from these experienced entrepreneurs, you are sure to learn how to increase your sales and have your business running out of receipt paper in no time. Let's dive right in.
Welcome back to episode number 53 of the Receipt Paper Podcast. I am one half of this dynamic duo, Kyle Strubing. I am here live with my wife, JoJo Strubing. JoJo, baby, it's been a while. How you been?
I've been good. I know. I think the audience, I know the audience has missed you. We've been doing a lot of interview shows lately, so we're glad to have you back on with us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I mean, I sometimes when we do these things, it's you like have to. It's like riding a bike. You get better. You never really forget, but you got to kind of get in the groove of it. So I'm finding my groove, guys. Hopefully we can find that sooner than later here. We've been dealing with a lot of stuff here at the store. The store's doing great, right?
Yeah, we've had some exciting things. If you listened in on our episode where we talked about our initiatives for this year of franchising and really solidifying our branding, you know that we've been working with a brand agency on some exciting projects. We just had our brand film shoot last week, which was phenomenal. I mean, Kyle and I said that the footage that they showed us looked so good, it almost didn't even look like our story.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that we struggle with is being able to portray kind of our differentiators and what we do online or what we do in store versus online. Obviously, right away, I messed up the first anecdote. But no, it's about kind of taking what goes on in the flesh and putting it on digitally. And Joanne, you do a great job of the pictures and the this and the that, but we've certainly seen things on a whole nother level. What a larger budget and what professionals can do. So we're super excited for that. Just even aside from the whole franchising thing, just seeing all this, we're like, dang, we're gonna have to level up everything we do from here on out, which is a good thing. Working with professionals, you get to see kind of how it's done.
Yeah, if you want to watch our kind of brand evolve here over the next few weeks or months, you can check us out, Altered States Wellness. We'll have a new website here in about a month, as well as new digital social appearance. So lots of cool stuff. And you can consider for yourself, what a new brand revamp might look like for your business. So
yes, for we've done it now. We did the original brand, and then we kind of did a rebrand with the Altered States kind of on ourselves. So this was almost the third go of it. So we're familiar with it, but you get to see kind of it's like, oh.
Which I think is a good point for if you're listening, for you to see that like you will evolve and continue to evolve.
Right.
This is not going to be our last revamp, I mean, you continue to get better and better. You can grow with your budget. We didn't have the budget to do what we wanted to when we first rebranded. So we just went ahead and moved forward. And now that we have the budget, we are, really making it what we wanted it to be. So I just want you to know you can still take action, even if you don't have the budget to do exactly what you want just yet.
And that with our brand, we wanted it to be a little bit nimble and not as zeroed in so that we could do a lot of those things and kind of pivot the brand as the industry went, kind of move forward. A lot of times when I'm sitting in a branding meeting, I hear some ideas and stuff of you guys, I don't want to say I cringe, but I'm just always very careful to not, yes, you want to be specific and tell people what you're doing, but also it's nice to kind of be able to kind of shift as the winds do per se, the old sailor that I am. Yes. But no, Today we're back with another episode 53. This one is going to be on mastering merchandising. So we're going to go over some of our top secret things that we use to, kind of boost the store's appeal and the sales, and go over some science as to why we do some of the things that we do.
And if you are a service-based business, don't exit out of this
Right.
episode, because a lot of these merchandising tips are going to apply to you as well. It's not just for product-based businesses. So
If you're a service-based business that doesn't have products, you're definitely missing out.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
would say just some basic things. That's
Yeah.
one of our strengths, I would say.
So today we've got 10 tips that we're going to dive into. We're not going to spend a ton of time on them because a lot of them are one of those that almost taking you back to the basics.
Right.
But I think sometimes we as business owners neglect some of these simple but highly effective things in our store. Even if you feel like your sales are a little stagnant, making just a couple of these changes can make a big difference. So, Kyle, let's start out with number one.
Yeah, so number one is pretty standard, pretty straightforward, and that's highlight new arrivals. The idea with this is to place new products at the front of the store or in prominent window displays to catch the eye of a passing customer. That's going to create a fresh new look, that's kind of coming at them regularly, right? And it encourages regular customers to explore new items. For us, a lot of times people will just be like, I'll see them earlier in the week and they spent, $150. I'm like, what the hell are you doing in here? He's like, well, I know you typically go to the wholesaler or go and get new products on Thursday. It's here on Friday. I wanted to see if you got anything new.
Yeah.
And they look forward to that, and it brings them in the store to see, and it gives you an opportunity to highlight some things.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And I notice I do this myself too, but if I go into a store multiple times, the same store, like if it's set up the exact same way, things don't really catch my eyes anymore,
Right.
once you've been in there a couple of times. So you really have to kind of very prominently display this, the signage that says new, put it right front and center, or right as they walk in through the door. New products, and people want to know what's new, but you got to kind of put it in their face.
Sample them, right? I don't know if this is another thing that you covered in here, but that's kind of what we did. We'll sample that new stuff, and it just gets them to buy it.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially if it pairs along well after you've developed a clientele or have some type of relationship with them. You can know if these products are going to work for them, right? And then a lot of times I'll sample that because I know that this is somebody who has not just an interest, but almost an expertise in using similar like products,
Yeah.
they can be very good advocates for it. And then when someone else comes into you, and says, well, what do you think about this? It's like, well, I think it's great. That's why I have it in the store, but obviously I'm biased.
Mhm.
We've seen a lot of the customers that we know and have got to know, they really like these products, and I think you will too.
And this even goes for a product that maybe
For sure.
you've had for a while that hasn't been selling. Maybe move it and put it more prominent, and people will be like, "Oh, is this new?" And we'll be like, "No, it's been
Yeah.
on the shelf for 6 months, but you just haven't seen it, right?" So don't be afraid to move things around and really highlight those things. You will be surprised by how much it will catch people's attention just from simple moves.
I got excited there midway through because I thought you were going to touch more on like a new service. I thought you said a new service. And we're real good at highlighting our new services because we can show it everybody it.
Yes.
Right? Hey, did you see this? I know you came in for, just for a little vitamin or something like that, and you're dealing with inflammation. Well, we have this new red light that's supposed to be real good. Go on and check it out.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we definitely highlight that.
Yeah, you really got to scream it from the rooftops.
Oh,
tell everybody, act as if everybody is your best friend there,
Give me an excuse to give a tour of our store. Like
Mhm.
that's 100%. So and you can highlight that and stuff just based on kind of what they're currently using and stuff
Right.
like that. But yeah,
All right, so let's move on to number 2, which is creating thematic, am I saying that right? Thematic displays. So developing these themed displays that can really resonate with your customers. Think trends or seasons or holidays. Get people in that mode of thinking about Mother's Day coming up, or thinking about Christmas, thinking about looking at gift boxes. They're suddenly thinking, oh, I could maybe put these products into a gift box. But do that for them, because customers need that encouragement of seeing that to visually see it for themselves, right?
Sure. And we talk about a lot of limited edition stuff like that too, with the seasonal and all that. It's really nice to have that all there,
Hmm.
right? And then if you put some other, like Jojo said about the about the seasonality or Mother's Day is coming up. If you have other things that kind of around it that you can then bundle together, that can really drive that average transaction as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I really think promoting a feeling too, like we've done like a summer display where people, it was like a beach theme of we highlighted like we had sunscreen at that
Right.
time and beverages and just different products that were great for the summer. So people could really envision that season and what they're going to need that season. So kind of putting that feeling or that season in people's mind
Right.
is huge. Don't be afraid to get a little cheesy with it. Kyle would kind of laugh at some of my cheesy seasonal displays sometimes, but customers do enjoy it, and it keeps things fun.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So number three, we're going to go on this one with using signage effectively. So you want your signage to be clear, concise, and visually appealing, so that it can help guide customers through your store and to the key products, right? So signs should easily be able to be read from a distance and contain compelling calls to action. That's the thing, right? You want to make sure the sign links to the person, which links downwind, then to the product, right? And some type of call to action. Check out the new product or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
The idea is of having it all lined up all the way through, making it clear and concise. In how I do that is I visually walk into the store. Naturally, I look at certain things when I come in because I've been in there for 6 years now. But does this deviate kind of my initial visual pattern? I naturally come in when I look at the top, I go over and I kind of look to the right, I scan the outside and I come back through. Well, where is that new product then catching your sign, your eyes, stuff like that. And then kind of
Hmm.
go through and ask people as they come in as well, hey, did that catch your eye? Did it not? Or whatever. And then kind of go from there.
Yeah, it took us a long time to even add like category signs, and it makes a huge difference. Like when people come in and they feel like they have to ask you where something is. I mean, we have just a 500 square foot showroom, and but people still want to be able to find something themselves. It's they want to be able to clearly identify, okay, pet products are here. You know, these wellness products are here or CBD products are here, whatever it is. So don't underestimate the power of those category signs, even if you have a small space. So if you don't have those today, I would consider adding it. It's just when people look within 7 seconds around your store, they want to be able to know what direction they should be going in.
Right.
So help them kind of guide them through your store and consider adding some of those things in if you don't have them already. Also highlighting things like sales, any special offers you have, gotta highlight those.
Right. Right. I dig, and I like that number one was the first one because you can always tie it back in, right? You're
Mhm.
you're using this effect signage effectively on these new products or
Yeah.
on whatever deal. That's why sometimes it's nice to just buy something new just to keep it fresh,
Mhm.
just to give them something new and different.
Yeah.
And then of course, as we're drilling down, signage falls into it, shelf placement, all these other things, they all kind of build onto each other.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go
All
into
right.
four. I'll do number four. I'll double back up. So implement cross merchandising. Place complementary products near each other to encourage additional purchases. So some examples would be like display cooking utensils next to cookware or socks near shoes, peanut butter near jelly, stuff like that, right? That strategy, once again, going back to what I said earlier, is just going to increase that average sale. You're going to get a higher ticket item, so it's more money for you. And then that can allow you, like I said, it's kind of a no-brainer. Then they have a certain price point that they want to spend, and it's bam, bam, bam. This is this. Out the door they go.
Yeah. Just take a look at your products and make sure that the ones that complement each other are near each other, right? So
Right.
they're easy for you to direct customers to, and back and so and forth.
If you want to cross and create bundles and stuff like that, you can pair, right? You know the margins of your products. You can pair a higher margin product with a lower margin product. That way, the discount or whatever, however, and I don't love to go all over discounts all the time, but you can sort of get more aggressive. You can see where you can be more aggressive too. with some of that to keep that stuff getting that. This is an average transaction play, which
Yeah.
is one thing that we track a ton of. And that I think you will too within your, we get kind of inundated with the business numbers, but one thing you could tell is average transaction. It'll tell you a lot.
Yeah. So implement cross merchandising was number 4. Number 5 is optimize your shelf space. So this is one that I really have seen the power of within our business is placing those higher margin items at the eye level. It's called the belt to eye level merchandising is what they call it. So between that belt and your eye is where you want to put those products that you want people to buy, the products that you're going to make the most money off of, right? The products that are most recommended. And then if there's like, a lesser version, a cheaper version, maybe you put that underneath the belt level. So the more prominent items, always remember belt to eye level. That's where you want people to go. That's where their eyes will naturally be drawn. So you don't want them to have to bend down or reach up, especially for us shorties. We're just not going to be looking that high on a shelf. So if you don't have options, just think of putting all of your products at that
Right.
level.
Right. I always say when we're at the store, and because sell a ton of supplements, and I'm always like, well, this is like a tequila bar, right? You got your primo stuff at the top, your kind of call stuff towards the middle, and down there at the bottom, that's going to be your well liquor. They're all safe, great products, but the devil is kind of in the details, and that always tends to that kind of helps show them how to lay it out. Sometimes when you have a bunch of products, can get a little confusing. It definitely can get a little confusing, but that allows it to kind of, and we go over, and a lot of times, like our primo products aren't because we make the most money off of it. It's because it's just a good product, right? We know that people are going to come back for it. It's the products that people rave about. They tell their friends, they tell, other people within their life, all that good stuff. But yeah, anything else you want to add towards that kind of the optimizing of the
No,
shelf
I think
placement?
it's fairly simple, but it's something that you may want to look around your store and see
Right.
where your products are placed. Are they too low? Are they too high? And how do you want to present them?
Cool. Then I'll go on then to number 6. Number 6 is going to be to enhance the sensory experience. With this one, basics, right? Lighting, music, add a scent to create a pleasant shopping environment. We'll even, pivot the candles based on, times of the year, times of the day, stuff like that to try to elevate that experience. I will turn the music down or up based on weekday, weekend, stuff
Yeah.
like that, create a little bit different vibe, kind of depending on where you're going. But you can also use the different lighting too within the store to draw their attention, right? Having good lighting, it highlights products. The music can enhance the mood, and like subtle little scents can make them associate that with their brand. And honestly, it can work for the negative too, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have some rainstorm and you're right by a sewer and it smells like
In there.
it smells like sewage or whatever, you
That's
don't
not
want
a pleasant
you don't want
experience.
that to be known. But there is a store that I frequent that is right next to this pizza place, and think of pizza
When you stop there,
every time I shop there.
that's
It's
funny.
brutal. I think it just smells like, which is great and it's awesome if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't eaten all day.
Yeah.
But if it's 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm smelling calzones and stuff,
Oh, that's
and
funny.
that's, you could smell that inside the store, and it's always kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, the place I work out at is right next to a pizza place, and I go in the morning when you really can't smell it. They're not in there cooking yet.
Right.
So, but I went to work out at night the other night, and it was the first time I was walking in. All I could smell was pizza, and it was the worst workout ever. I was like, all I'm doing is sitting here
Yeah.
dreaming of pizza. So, boy, I'm glad that I only work out in the mornings usually. So, um, but yeah, I think that's a great point. Positives, negatives. We have lighting right above a central center display in our storefront to really kind of bring more emphasis to that spot. So, yeah, look at your lighting. Are you playing music? Is the playlist setting the right mood? We tell our employees to play specific music. Otherwise it could get a little funky in there. And then scents. I love scents, essential oils, diffusers, candles. There's so many different ways to bring a scent into your storefront.
Sure, sure. Number
Oh,
7, should we move right along?
Yes, we
So
should.
number 7 we're on is rotate merchandise regularly. Regularly changing your store layout and product placement to keep the shopping experience fresh and exciting. This is going to encourage your regular customers to discover new products each time they visit. Once you have those regulars, they have their cash in hand and they're ready to go. They have their head down. They go to their spot. They pick it. They turn around and they come out. They never look at anything else. But if you simply take that and move it one shelf over, their whole thing has been messed up. So now their eye level comes up. They turn probably to find you, right?
Mhm.
And now they see the rest of the store for the first time since they've been in there
Yeah.
for 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it definitely lends to keeping them in there longer. And yes, I know these are little mind games, but it does work.
They do. I mean, customers will walk in and be like, "Oh, did y'all not have these anymore?" I'm like, "No, we just moved them over here." But then they're like, "Wait, but what is this?"
Yeah,
You know? And
yeah,
it really does work. And when we first opened, I was scared to do that because it was like, I don't know, like, what is it going to do? But it helps a lot. So move things around. I mean, you don't want to redo your whole store
right.
every month, but don't be afraid. If this thing isn't selling, let's move it. If it sells really well, let's move it because people are going to be looking for it anyway. So, yeah, rotate that merchandise. Don't be afraid to try new things.
Yeah, and see what sells well to something else. If something's comparable and it's like we deal in supplements, if it's the same milligram as the other one, that's the same milligram, and the other one is $20 more expensive, it's going to be hard to sell that thing
Yeah.
at the same milligram. So it all comes down to kind of where it's spaced out, what you buy, things like that.
Hmm. Perfect.
Things like that.
All right, number 8 is leveraging those impulse purchase opportunities. So we call these like your impulse buy items, those really low cost items that people just kind of want to grab. Like think about when you're at a store and you see, I think of when I go into Express and I'm shopping, but then I get to the counter, there's always like some cute earrings sitting there. And I'm like, ooh, maybe I want those.
Yeah.
Or, the chapstick and the gum sitting by the cash register. What in your storefront is those last minute, typically $20 or less items that you can kind of remind people out? Or even if you're service-based business, think about like those gift cards. Do you have gift cards sitting on the counter to remind people, hey, don't forget your gift
Yeah.
cards? Those little small things that just just that little reminder, they're already pulling out their credit card. Let's throw this thing in. We have like these $5 gummies, and I've noticed we put some chapstick up there lately, and I have so many people pick it up. Hey, what's this? What's this?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's chapstick, but
And a lot of times, like Jojo said, like a lot of times it's just smaller versions of the bigger products that we sell. So it gets them really to try it. And like for me, I'm the worst. It's like, F it, it's $8. I don't really want this for 30, but at 8, throw it in there. Who cares? I thought I was spending $50 in here regardless. So that allows you then to, once again, average transaction, guys. Average transaction is going to push that up 100%. I think we're good on that number 8, things like candy, small gadgets, all that you want to have placed there. Think about the grocery store, like Joe just said with that. Number 9 is going to be offer interactive experience. If feasible, set up stations where customers can try products. For example, a cosmetic store could have a makeup trial area, or a tech store could have like interactive demos. That's not only going to enhance the shopping experience, but it also increases the likelihood of purchases.
yeah, I think this is becoming huge. Kyle already brought it up earlier, like sampling, the DIY stations or co-creation stations. We've talked about this before, but it's huge where, people can maybe make something in your space. How can they put something together, put the final touches on? We've seen places that have like, make your own shampoo. We've seen make your own jewelry. People that like coming to stores where they can interact with things, they can try things, they can smell things. If you're a service-based business, you got to be doing tours. You got to show them what the
Yeah.
experience is going to look like. Kind of give them that, oh man, look at this beautiful room or this,
Sit
cozy
in your
area.
chair and the
Yeah.
whole thing. Yeah,
So that they can see it in action for themselves. They're so much more likely to buy when they are really having an experience like that.
for sure. That kind of touches on that experiential retail thing
Yeah.
that we talk about in the master class.
Yeah.
So number 10, 10 out of 10, last one here for you is going to be train your staff, right? Obviously, you just want to train your staff, make sure that they're knowledgeable about product placement and merchandising principles. They should be able to maintain the aesthetic appeal of the displays and provide suggestions to customers, enhancing the overall customer experience. The two of us can sit here and talk about this all day, but if we do not communicate and delegate and make sure that that is the expectation at the store, then it is not going to get done. You have to take that and manifest it. You have to make it happen.
Yeah, the big thing for me is like stocking the shelves. Something so simple, but I can't stand if I haven't been in a few days and I come in and like the shelves look empty. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, like you got to keep it stocked. People will not purchase things that aren't being bought. So whatever that expectation is for you of how that store should look or where products should go, how they should be placed, just ensure that you are also relaying that to your employees so that it stays consistent.
Yeah, we're doing a sweat into summer here. It is Texas, right? And we'll tell whoever's working there, like, this is the sweat into summer, sweat into the oldies display here. The goal is to get them to look at this and then sell them on 3 different products. This is the opportunity that we're creating here for you. That's kind of how we do that. And this is the idea behind what we're trying to do. And that's drive your average transaction up higher.
Sweat into summer. That's new. I actually kind of dig it though. Like a little sauna, sweat.
I'm getting ready for it. It's coming. It's like 100 degrees.
We might have to move you to the marketing department.
I am the marketing wizard here. But so we've covered all 10 of these for you guys. You want to
recap here?
We can go ahead and recap. Number 1 is going to be highlight new arrivals, right? Number 2, create thematic displays. Easy for me to say. 3 is use your signage effectively, right? Back to the basics. 4, implement cross merchandising. 5, we want to optimize our shelf placement. What did you say?
Belt to eye level.
Belt to eye level. I like that one. Belt to eye level. Number 6, enhance the sensory experience. Don't have it smell like a hot dog up in there. We don't want that. Number 7 is rotate merchandise regularly. Number 8, leverage impulse merchandise opportunities. Say that 5 times fast. Number 9, offer interactive experiences. And number 10, train your staff.
Absolutely.
So that's all we have for today. You're going to post all this to the show notes, I'm sure, like you always do.
Yes, you can always find the written version in the show notes, masterbrickandmortar.com/53. I encourage you just to take 1 or 2 of these and take a look at your storefront. See if you're implementing them and if there's maybe just a couple things you can tweak. These are small things that really aren't going to take a ton of effort or money, but they can really make a big impact on your sales. So take a look at that here. One last thing before we go, I wanted to announce that we have decided to open Brick and Mortar Academy and keep it open. We used to only open it certain times of the year, but we've had people come and request access to the course. Brick and Mortar Academy is our full program that walks you from idea all the way to grand opening with our step-by-step process. It's an on-demand training. So if you are interested in really diving into opening your brick and mortar business, check that out at masterbrickandmortar.com. It is now available for you to join anytime. All right, guys, we cannot wait to see you next week. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Receipt Paper Podcast, your go-to source of information for starting and growing a successful brick and mortar business. Subscribe to hear future episodes and share this content so that more people can access these valuable insights. If you're looking for more resources to help you with your brick and mortar business, visit masterbrickandmortar.com or follow us on Instagram at masterbrickandmortar. Thanks again for listening to the Receipt Paper Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.